Hello, I am Reggie Sharp. So today I wanted to go over my presentation about the ethical dilemma presentation that we had for our class. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the ethical dilemma, and I also wanted to point out a few things that my professor looked at as in regard to my last assignment, the paper. So he did mention some things like misspelled words, things like the margin, making sure the margins are correct, making sure the headings are correct, making sure that the reference page is correct, making sure that having enough references. That was one thing to look at. So the video that I chose for my ethical dilemma presentation was Whose Records, and this describes how the scenario is about a client and a counselor meeting, and the counselor was refusing to end the counselor relationship. The counselor is unwilling to give the client her previous treatment notes. The counselor is also refusing to provide the client with treatment notes and has disregarded the rights of the client. She is providing a service for, according to the ACA 2014 Code of Ethics. The counselor is refusing to respect and abide by her client's wishes. She's disregarding her autonomy. The counselor mentioned in previous discussions about the client wanting to have another counselor and appeared to be offended by the statement. The counselor acted, I believe, in a unprofessional manner. So my decision-making process, there were at least 3 ACA Code of Ethics violated in this scenario. And one of the standards was Standard 1, the ACA Code 2014 of Ethics, which mentions enhancing human development through lifespan. I also see a standard number 4 in the ACA Code of Ethics, which is safeguarding the integrity of the counselor-client relationship and standard. 5, the standard also 5, which the ACA Code 2014 Code of Ethics, which is practicing in a competent and ethical manner. And so by the way she treated the client, it was showing that she wasn't practicing in an ethical manner, as well as her not allowing the client to have a copy of her treatment records. And she seemed very upset about that, and even mentioned to the client that the records won't help you because there was not enough in there. So that was definitely a violation. So with regard to the state of Oklahoma ethical violations, there were some things I looked at as it relates to this case. The Oklahoma State Board of the Behavioral Health Licensors, Title 86, Chapter 10, Licensed Professional Counselors. State Board of Behavioral Health Licensor 2019, Chapter 86, 1033, Client Welfare Records. 4, Client Access. State Board of Behavioral Health Licensor. Client welfare. Counselors do not need to get involved with personal issues or information from the client that does not benefit the counseling session or treatment outcome. That's according to the State Board of Behavioral Licensor 2019, Subchapter 3, Rules of Professional Conduct, Chapter 86, 10.3-1, Responsibility, State of the Board of Behavioral Licensor 2019. It is the professional duty of the counselor to act in a manner that benefits the profession and does not harm the integrity of the counselor or the client. Decision-making process, application, and admission. According to the research about this subject, research counselors, we should be open and honest to our clients and only use treatments that benefit the client. That was Gerger in 2020 in an article. It was a scholarly article. In the situation, it also appeared to me that the counselor had a hard time ending the treatment with the client who requested a new counselor. I would like to look at something that helped me understanding it better, it's important that the counselors have a direction when treatment is over and do things in a professional manner that respects the client's autonomy. This was according to Barnett and other authors in 2024 in an article. The decision-making process. My courses of action for this brainstorm of this solution are the following. The client will set up a meeting to receive a copy of her initial informed consent form she may have signed when she started her counseling with the agency. Counselors should know what the best course of action is for obtaining informed consent and have the documents referring to the outlined methods. This was Leona and Thomas of 2024, and this was also a scholarly article. My next solution for this problem would be to request to discuss with the counseling supervisor or file a formal complaint about the counselor not acting in a professional manner according to the state rules and regulations. There are different perceptions that often come up with many people which are related to certain biases. This was Carlisle, etc. My next solution for this problem would be to request to discuss with the counseling supervisor or file a formal complaint about the counselor not acting in a professional manner according to the state rules and regulations. There are different perceptions that often produce many people which are related to certain bias. This was also Carlisle and etc. The decision-making process continued. My next solution would be to get a possible subpoena to get counseling records if they refuse to give the counseling office a possible subpoena to allow the client a copy of the solution would be to get counseling records, and the client will receive a copy of the records. There is sometimes a correlation between how people relate to one another, which may have a great deal to do with how they resolve disputes. This was Votruba, etc. all him with other authors, 2023. So some of my references was the State Board of Behavioral Health Licensors, 2019, Oklahoma Code Title 86, Chapter 12, ACA Board of Ethics, 2014, Gab, Jens, another author, what are the key characteristics of good psychotherapy, calling for ethical patient involvement, Frontiers in Psychology. It was Volume 11, June the 2nd, 2020. Then I have Barnett, Jeffrey, Henderson, Mitchell, Castleberg, Mitchell, Joshua, and Samuel Knapp. Key issues and recommendations for ethical and effective endings in psychotherapy, professional psychotherapy, research, and practice. Volume 55-2, April 2024, pages 129 to 139. Athena Lyons and George Thomas. What do educational psychologists consider to be best practice when giving consent across the 0 to 25 age range? And its Educational Psychology of Practice, January 19, 2024. Christy Carlisle, Danny Levatt, Edward Newcock. Significant differences about the perceptions of ethical situations exist among the group related to gender and education level. Counseling and Values, Volume 67, 1, September 2022, pages 88 to 115, and also Ashley Votruba, Jared Netzel, and Abigail Horsfold, Pathways to Performers for Collaborative Conflict Resolution, Disputes Process, Goals to Drive Preferences, Psychology, Public Policy, and Law, Volume 29-3, August 2023, pages 364 to 382. Thank you